Someone close to you is secretly working against you. And their name will shock you. My beloved child, be still for just a heartbeat, because there are moments when the quietest truths carry the loudest echoes. What if the next few minutes reveal something you have sensed all along but never dared to put into words? Do not rush away from this moment. Sometimes the greatest discoveries arrive without noise, and the signs you've overlooked begin connecting in ways you never imagined. Stay with this message, because what unfolds next may completely change how you see the people standing closest to your life. There is something unusual happening beneath the surface of your journey. Not a storm you can see with your eyes, but a pattern your spirit has been trying to recognize. Think about the strange delays that appeared just when everything seemed ready to move forward. Remember those moments when your excitement slowly faded after sharing your dreams with someone. At first, you blamed coincidence. Later, you questioned yourself. Yet what if those moments were never random? What if every unexpected pause was quietly pointing toward a lesson you were meant to discover only now? Listen carefully. Not everyone who walks beside you is walking in the same direction as your future. Some people admire your strength. Others admire your potential. But there are also those who become uncomfortable the moment your light begins reaching places they never expected. They may still smile. They may still celebrate small victories with you. Yet somewhere deep inside, they struggle with the distance between where they are, and where they believe you are about to go. This isn't about fear. It isn't about enemies. It is about awareness. Because understanding the energy around you is often the first step toward protecting the future waiting ahead. Have you ever noticed how certain conversations leave you feeling strangely uncertain? You begin with confidence, but somehow end with hesitation. It happens so subtly that you almost miss it. A single comment. A harmless joke. A quiet suggestion that encourages you to settle for less than your heart originally desired. Nothing dramatic. Nothing obvious. Just enough to make you question yourself. And once doubt enters, momentum quietly begins to slow. The remarkable part is that this rarely happens by accident. Every influence, whether encouraging or discouraging, leaves an invisible fingerprint on your decisions. Now imagine this for a moment. Suppose your greatest breakthrough is much closer than you think. Suppose the life you've been working toward has already begun moving in your direction. Wouldn't it make sense that your focus would be tested before you reached it? Not because the universe wishes to stop you, but because every meaningful destination requires a clearer vision than the last. Sometimes the challenge isn't climbing the mountain. Sometimes the challenge is recognizing which voices should never become your map. There is someone whose words seem ordinary, yet they linger in your mind much longer than they should. They often know exactly what to say when your confidence begins rising. Curiously, the conversation shifts. Your excitement cools. Your certainty softens. You tell yourself they were simply being realistic. But were they? Or did their perspective quietly become a ceiling you never intended to build? Think carefully before answering. This realization cannot be rushed. It deserves honesty more than speed. Here's the surprising truth. The title of this message speaks of someone close to you, but it is not inviting you to become suspicious of everyone around you. It is inviting you to notice patterns instead of personalities. The name that may eventually surprise you is not important because of drama. It is important because recognition creates freedom. Once you understand which influences strengthen your path and which ones quietly drain it, your choices become clearer than ever before. Have you noticed how your intuition speaks long before your mind catches up? There were moments when something felt slightly off, even though nothing appeared wrong. You dismissed it because you wanted harmony. You chose understanding over questioning. That kindness is part of your strength. But remember this carefully. Compassion should never require you to ignore your own inner wisdom. The strongest hearts remain kind while still recognizing what belongs in their future and what does not. Take another step with me. Imagine standing in a room filled with mirrors. Every reflection looks almost identical, yet only one shows your true direction. The rest simply repeat what they see around them. Life can feel the same. Many voices reflect fear. Few reflect possibility. The person influencing your journey may not even realize the effect they have on you. Their limitations have quietly become the language they speak. And without noticing, they invite you to inherit those same limitations. But you were never meant to borrow someone else's ceiling. What if this very moment marks the beginning of a different chapter? A chapter where you no longer measure your future through the expectations of others. A chapter where every decision comes from clarity instead of confusion. The shift won't happen all at once. It begins with one honest observation. Then another. Soon, the puzzle pieces that once seemed scattered begin fitting together with astonishing precision. Stay a little longer, because this is only the beginning of what is about to unfold. The clues you've been overlooking are becoming impossible to ignore. In the next part, you'll discover why this hidden influence has remained so close to your life for so long, and the unexpected reason the truth reveals itself only when your greatest opportunity is finally within reach. Pause for a moment, because the next piece of this story changes everything. The question is no longer whether hidden influence exists. The real question is this: why has it remained so close to you for so long without revealing itself? The answer is far more unexpected than most people imagine. Stay with me, because every sentence from this point forward unlocks another piece of the picture, and by the end of this part, you'll begin seeing familiar moments from your own life in an entirely different light. The people who shape our path are rarely strangers. They are often the ones whose voices become part of our daily rhythm. That is why their influence feels normal. It doesn't arrive with obvious warnings or dramatic signs. Instead, it blends into ordinary conversations. A casual opinion. A quiet prediction about your future. A repeated reminder of what they believe is impossible. None of these moments seem important on their own. But over time, they begin building an invisible framework around your thinking. Without realizing it, you start viewing your possibilities through someone else's limitations. Now ask yourself something that requires complete honesty. Have there ever been dreams you quietly placed on hold, not because you stopped believing in them, but because someone else's certainty became louder than your own? Think about that carefully. The most powerful opportunities are rarely lost in a single moment. They slowly fade when confidence is replaced by hesitation. And hesitation often begins with voices we trust the most. Here's something fascinating. People don't always influence your direction because they want to. Sometimes they simply project the world they know. If they have learned to expect disappointment, they naturally speak with caution. If they have accepted smaller possibilities, they unknowingly encourage others to do the same. Their words sound practical. Their advice sounds safe. Yet safety is not always the same as growth. The future has never belonged to those who remained comfortable. It belongs to those who kept moving even when certainty hadn't arrived yet. Think back to the times you felt an unexplained surge of excitement about your future. Before long, someone close offered an opinion that made you slow down. Maybe later. Don't expect too much. Be realistic. Simple phrases, yet they quietly changed the atmosphere. Your vision became smaller. Your courage became quieter. But here's the remarkable truth: you can recognize those moments without blaming anyone. Awareness is not about creating distance from people. It is about creating clarity within yourself. And here's where everything becomes even more interesting. The person you least expect to influence your path may not be trying to stop your progress at all. They may genuinely care about you. They may honestly believe they are protecting you from disappointment. Yet protection built from fear often looks very different from encouragement built from hope. One keeps you where you are. The other reminds you how far you can still go. Notice how your intuition responds whenever your future is discussed. Around certain people, your ideas expand naturally. Around others, they quietly shrink. That difference is never random. Your inner awareness notices emotional patterns long before your conscious mind gives them a name. This is why listening to yourself becomes one of the greatest forms of wisdom. The answers you've been searching for have been whispering inside you all along. If this message has stirred something within you, perhaps someone else needs to hear it as well. Feel free to share this video with a friend who values growth, and if a particular thought resonates with your own journey, leave it in the comments. Your perspective may become the encouragement someone else has been waiting to find. And if these conversations help you see your path more clearly, you're always welcome to stay connected by subscribing for the next message. Now let your thoughts settle, because the greatest revelation has not arrived yet. You may think this story is about identifying one surprising name, but the next chapter goes much deeper than that. Soon you'll understand why this connection appeared in your life at exactly the right time, why every unexpected delay carried a hidden lesson, and why the truth waiting ahead is far more empowering than shocking. Don't drift away now, because the next part is where every clue you've collected begins to fit together in a way you never expected. Wait, before you decide you've already figured it out, let one more thought settle into your mind. The biggest revelation is rarely the name itself. It is the moment you realize how long your own intuition has been trying to guide you. Imagine looking back months from now and suddenly understanding that every unexplained feeling, every strange coincidence, every unexpected pause was quietly preparing you for this exact realization. Stay with me, because the final pieces of the puzzle are beginning to align. There comes a point in every person's journey when life stops speaking through loud events and begins communicating through subtle patterns. At first, those patterns seem insignificant. A conversation that leaves you unusually drained. A celebration that somehow feels incomplete. A goal that loses momentum immediately after being shared. Individually, these moments appear ordinary. Together, they tell a story. Not a story of fear, but one of awakening. The future often whispers before it announces itself, and only those who pay attention recognize the difference. Now consider something that few people ever stop to ask. Why would this hidden influence remain close instead of becoming obvious? Because obvious lessons are quickly forgotten. Lasting wisdom grows through observation. If every answer arrived immediately, you would never develop the discernment needed for the opportunities waiting ahead. The delay wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Every experience sharpened your ability to recognize what genuinely strengthens your spirit and what quietly distracts it. Think about the people who consistently celebrate your progress without comparing it to their own journey. Notice how different those conversations feel. They leave you energized. They remind you of possibilities instead of limitations. Their presence expands your vision. That is not coincidence. Genuine encouragement creates momentum. It helps you remember who you are rather than convincing you to become smaller for the comfort of others. Once you experience that difference, you begin recognizing it everywhere. But here's where this message takes an unexpected turn. What if the shock promised in the title has never been about exposing someone else? What if the greatest surprise is discovering how much power you have been giving away without realizing it? Names only matter when they control your decisions. The moment you reclaim your confidence, those names lose their influence. Suddenly, conversations no longer determine your direction. Opinions no longer define your future. You become the one holding the compass again. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a new season. Behind you are old doubts, familiar habits, and expectations that no longer fit the person you are becoming. Ahead of you is a path that requires something different, not louder ambition, but quieter certainty. The kind of certainty that doesn't need approval. The kind that keeps moving even when others fail to understand the destination. That transformation begins today, not because the world around you changes, but because the way you interpret it changes forever. And then, one day, it happens. A conversation unfolds exactly as it always has. The same opinions are spoken. The same doubts appear. The same familiar energy fills the room. But something is different. This time, you recognize the pattern instantly. Instead of absorbing it, you observe it. Instead of shrinking, you remain steady. Instead of questioning your own path, you quietly smile because you finally understand what your intuition has been trying to teach you all along. That single moment becomes the turning point you never saw coming. Remember this carefully. Your future was never designed to depend on someone else's expectations. It was built through your decisions, your persistence, your willingness to keep moving when certainty seemed distant. Every remarkable journey reaches a chapter where clarity replaces confusion. This may be that chapter for you. So before this part comes to an end, carry one final thought with you. Don't spend your energy searching for someone to blame. Spend it recognizing the voices, habits, and patterns that help you become stronger. The moment you choose awareness over suspicion, confidence over doubt, and purpose over distraction, your next chapter begins writing itself. And believe me, the story still isn't over. In the next part, the final revelation will uncover why this realization arrives at precisely this moment in your life, and how one unexpected decision could completely change the direction of everything that comes next. One final moment. Don't close this chapter just yet, because the ending is not where this journey finishes, it is where your next beginning quietly takes shape. Imagine discovering that every unexpected delay, every unanswered question, and every confusing season was never designed to weaken your confidence. Instead, they were preparing you to recognize something priceless, your ability to choose your direction, regardless of the voices surrounding you. Stay until the very last sentence, because this is where everything comes together. By now, you've probably realized that this message was never asking you to become suspicious of the people around you. It was inviting you to become more conscious of the influence you allow into your inner world. There is a remarkable difference between hearing someone's opinion and allowing it to become your identity. The moment you understand that difference, something extraordinary happens. You stop reacting to every passing doubt. You stop measuring your future through someone else's expectations. And little by little, your own vision becomes louder than the noise around you. Look back over your journey. There were moments when you almost gave up on an idea that truly mattered to you. Yet something inside refused to let the dream disappear. That quiet persistence was never an accident. It was your deeper wisdom reminding you that your future deserves more than temporary uncertainty. Every challenge strengthened your ability to recognize what deserves your attention and what simply deserves to be released. Now imagine waking up tomorrow with a different perspective. The same people may still be there. The same conversations may still happen. But you are no longer the same person listening to them. You have learned to pause before accepting every opinion. You have learned to ask, does this move me closer to the life I'm building, or further away from it? That single question has the power to transform countless decisions. And over time, those decisions quietly shape an entirely different future. Perhaps the shocking name was never meant to become the center of your attention. Perhaps the greatest revelation was discovering your own strength to think clearly, choose wisely, and continue confidently without carrying unnecessary fear. Awareness is freedom. Clarity is power. And the future belongs to those who protect both. As this message comes to a close, remember one simple truth: the people who genuinely want to see you grow will never ask you to shrink your dreams to make others comfortable. They may challenge you to improve. They may encourage you to become wiser. But they will never ask you to abandon the purpose that fills your heart with hope. Keep those voices close. Let them become the soundtrack of the life you are creating. If this journey helped you see your own path with fresh eyes, consider sharing it with someone who may need the same reminder today. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes one honest reflection becomes the encouragement another person has been waiting for. And if you enjoy thoughtful stories like this that inspire awareness, hope, and personal growth, you're warmly invited to subscribe and continue this journey together. Before you leave, carry this final image with you. Picture yourself walking toward a horizon at sunrise. Behind you are old doubts, borrowed limitations, and voices that no longer define your direction. Ahead of you is a path filled with possibility, not because everything around you has changed overnight, but because you have. Every step forward is now guided by confidence instead of confusion, wisdom instead of worry, and purpose instead of hesitation. The next chapter of your story begins the moment you trust your inner clarity more than outside uncertainty. Walk forward with courage. Stay open to truth. Protect your vision. And never forget this: the brightest future is built by those who choose awareness over fear, hope over doubt, and steady progress over endless hesitation. Your journey is only beginning. And your greatest chapter